The past 2 weeks left us no shortage of on-track drama, with the latest Spargaro standing on the top step of a Grand Prix podium for the very first time at Termas de Rio Hondo, before Enea Bastianini secured victory at the Circuit of the Americas. With all the excitement, you may not have caught everything that happened on track, so these are your other battles from the Grand Prix of Argentina and the Americas. Beginning at Termas, Luca Marini began on a MotoGP front row for just a second time, but hopes of a career best finish quickly dissipated. Suzuki's Alex Rins and Joan Mir joined Paul Espargaro in quickly dispatching the Italian, before he had the looming threat of Maverick Vinales' RSGP on his tail. An exciting battle ensued with the two exchanging manoeuvres, but it eventually went the way of Vinales as he made a move stick on the 10th lap. Pecco Bagnaia and Brad Binder then went through on Marini before he fought valiantly against Fabio Quartararo just past the halfway mark, with the world champion eventually going through. To make matters worse for Marini, his rookie teammate Marco Bezzecchi nudged past him as he slipped outside of the top 10. It was a day of contrasting fortunes for the VR46 team, with Bezzecchi earning his first ever MotoGP top 10 after fighting through the pack from a P17 start. The number 72 didn't let this overtake from MotoGP race winner Enea Bastianini phase him, as he pegged back his compatriot on the 16th lap following an error from the Gresini rider. Taka Nakagami proved his next test, and he passed it with flying colours as the Italian fought back from an earlier overtake to move into the top 10. 3 laps later and he got the better of his teammate to record a P9 finish and take home 7 crucial championship points, handing him the initiative in the Rookie of the Year battle. Bezzecchi wasn't the only rider to charge from deep down on the grid to a strong point scoring finish, with Pecco Bagnaia gaining 8 places during the race as he began to show the form that made him a pre-season title favourite. A strong opening lap saw him blow by Nakagami, with Quartararo powerless to resist the GP22 on the second. He tailed KTM's Binder until the 7th lap before capitalising on a mistake from the South African at turn 5. Aprilia's Vinales did his best to keep the factory Ducati man at bay, but eventually succumbed to the pressure on the penultimate lap and conceding his top 5 position. 1 week later, and it was the turn of the Circuit of the Americas to host the next round of MotoGP racing. It was a victory for Enea Bastianini, who reclaimed the championship lead, but it could have been very different if Marc Marquez hadn't experienced issues launching from the line. It was a typically box office performance from the Repsol Honda star, who went from P9 to P24 in an instant before working his way back through the grid. Wasting no time, Marquez kick-started his recovery effort by picking off rookies Raul Fernandez and Remy Gardner in the first few corners before getting 2 for 1 on Fabio Di Gianantonio and Marco Bezzecchi. Younger brother Alex was up next and he duly obliged to move into P18. Franco Morbidelli and Andrea Dovizioso were taken on lap 2 before the number 93's ascent up the pecking order continued, with moves past Vinales and Nakagami before cracking the top 10 and swapping paint with teammate Paul Espargaro. From there, Marquez continued in the same vein to claim a top 6 finish on his return from injury. Marquez and Espargaro weren't the only teammates who got up close and personal, with the Aprilias jostling for position around turn 1, while Tech 3 rookies Gardner and Fernandez battled around turns 13 and 14 but couldn't get inside the points. It was a difficult weekend for KTM on a whole, with factory rider Miguel Oliveira also failing to register a point scoring finish. The Indonesia GP winner lost out in a race-long battle with Luca Marini before Franco Morbidelli picked him off at turn 15. The Italian then disposed of Marini with 3 laps remaining and looked to have the edge over Andrea Dovizioso to take the final point scoring finish, but a track limits infraction on the final lap saw him demoted a place to P16 and leaving him scoreless from the weekend. 2 weeks of jam-packed action in Argentina and the US come to an end, with teams and riders already making their way back across the Atlantic Ocean in preparation for the opening round of the European leg of this season's championship. Portimao is up next for the Tussles Grand Prix of Portugal. Make sure you stay tuned to MotoGP.com for all the latest news.